Never ever did I think my video game dilemma has brought me to this crazy new hobby. And for those of you who need a quick little catch up, 9 months ago, I decided to quit playing video games because I had video game burnout. And why did I have video game burnout is when I would wake up in the morning, the first thing I would do is turn on the Xbox and do all my micromanaging. Log on every single game that had micromanaging aspects I need to do, play a match in every single game that had a day of the win bonus to achieve. And it came to a point where games were controlling my life. And because of that, 9 months ago, I said, screw it, I'm done. And I did a hard turkey quit on video games and I sold my Xbox. 6 months later, I decided I'm going to start playing games again because that's who I am. That's part of my life. But I'm going to play them socially and I'm going to play multiplayer games with my friends. And if I do find a good single player game to play, then it's okay to relax a little bit and play that single player game. So here's what happened. I never found that game. I never found a good single player game to play because everything right now doesn't seem fun. And even the multiplayer games that I have been playing with my friends haven't seemed very fun lately. Not gonna lie, a lot of games right now, they suck. They're very equal and similar to how they work. You either grind for hours on end, or there's a paywall with microtransactions and you pay that money to get what you want. And even then, it's a RNG, mostly loot box system on what you're going to get. So games aren't really that enjoyable. I mean, grinding with friends could be fun, but only to a point. And then the rest of it starts to feel like a chore. And that's the thing that I mainly wanted to avoid when I quit playing video games. And I had the craziest experience happen to me and my friend. And he bought me Grand Theft Auto Online for Christmas because he wanted to play with me. And what happened was maybe it was a hacker, but somebody walked up to him and dropped lots of GTA currency to him. And because of this, he started to be afraid of playing Grand Theft Auto Online because he didn't want to get banned for suddenly having this much money. So he said he's going to submit a support ticket and then stop playing the game until the game developers remove that money from his account. And it really inspired me to make this video to just remind myself that why am I even playing games when sometimes we are even afraid to play them because of things like that. Most of the time they feel like a chore. Most of the time, hey, if we were all rich, we could just do that paywall system. It's very unfair and unbalanced where games are right now. And because of this, my friends and I have actually been transitioning into a new physical hobby. And if you asked me when I quit playing video games or any time in my life that I'll be doing this, I would have said never. But hey, that's where I am now. And now we are playing Dungeons and Dragons. And we are having the time of our lives playing Dungeons and Dragons. And that's mainly because Dungeons and Dragons is a game that you can tailor into your own specific way to have fun. Right now we're playing a pre-written campaign. No, right now we're playing a campaign that I made, and we're going to be transitioning into a pre-written campaign, Princes of the Apocalypse, and it's estimated that we're going to take about 1.5 to 2 years to finish our campaign. And that's fine. And we are so excited to be playing this game. We have so much patience for this. And all we ever do is talk about the crazy around the table Dungeons and Dragons experiences we had. And let me just explain why we've been having such a blast with this compared to playing video games. And that's because when it comes to video games, there's no sense of teamwork. And when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons, you need hardcore teamwork. So the problem with video games and not having teamwork, or you should have teamwork to achieve a goal, but what I'm trying to get at is you feel separated from your teammates because there are things you can get for your character. You could pay money to be better dressed, to have better cars, guns, weapons, gear, boost your character so you could deal extra damage numbers and show off. And doing all this in online multiplayer games, you're basically building a character, putting mindless grinding hours to show off to your friends that you're better than them. And because of this, online games seem to be built on ego rather than building friendships. And sure, a lot of people can have fun saying, hey, I have everything I want in this game. Look how powerful I am. You'll never catch up to me. But the thing is, when you build ego, it's only temporary satisfaction. It's never going to last that long. And plus, if you're just bragging about all of your stats and gears, I don't think your friends are going to last around you very long because they're going to realize they'll never catch up and they'll get bored of you. But in Dungeons and Dragons, it's a team-based game. Everyone has the same objective. Everyone wants to progress in the campaign and level their characters. Everyone levels at the same time, so there's no power gamers, there's no meta gamers. And if there is, me as a DM can strike down with the hand of God and specifically fix that character or kill him. But of course, that's not something I'd want to do. I'd probably pull the character out and say, hey, you're metagaming, don't metagame. And because of this, and because everyone's super comfortable and flexible around each other, we can talk about this. We could tailor an experience that we're all going to have fun in. Because before we actually started playing the campaign that we're running or we're going through right now, I went to every single player and I said, hey, what do you expect in a D&D session? And what do you think, what do you want? What is the most fun you'll have? And some people said they want roleplay. Some people said they want more dungeons. Some people said they just want stupid random stuff. And because of that, I can tailor a campaign for everybody to have fun and enjoy. And there's something really special about getting around with your friends physically and playing a game on the table that's lasting a couple sessions. And especially when you have to work together or else your character dies. And my players learned that in their last session because they split up and one character was one roll away from dying twice. And I've never in my entire life have felt this incredible tension where everybody just stops and the entire room goes quiet and they're waiting for that character to roll their dice. And when they realize he rolls a save and everyone's starting to rush back into that room to save the character, the teamwork that's happening is beautiful and friendships are just being created at the table. And some people may think Dungeons and Dragons is incredibly nerdy, and well, it might be, but something about it is starting to turn more mainstream. And that's because I used to personally think that this was the nerdiest thing in the world. But I was carrying the books around and I was making character sheets on the computers as I was studying and building this campaign. And people would come up to me and say, Is that Dungeons and Dragons? And I would say yes, and bada bing, bada boom, I made a new friend. And I can invite that person onto the table or I can invite them to another session. And it's been a very interesting transition from video games to a more social form of gaming that has been very fun and enjoyable for not just me, but all of my friends. And Dungeons and Dragons has been giving me an amazing creative outlet, which is something I haven't been able to get through video games. Because in video games, what do I have to do? Oh, get my first win of the day or press a couple buttons to get X amount of experience to get that endorphin rushes in my head, feeling that I've achieved something. But when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh my goodness, that is such a good idea for that campaign. And then I'd have to go write it down. And then in the morning, I can tailor it and put it in somewhere and just get really excited for the next session to surprise my players. That's something I've never been able to do in video games. The flexibility of Dungeons and Dragons is so vastly unlimited, and I want to be the type of dungeon master who never ever says no to their players. And because of that, this has actually already led to some amazing and interesting tales and stories to tell around the table that's probably gonna last a lifetime. And the reason why I'm making this video is I just want to share my experience of what happened when I got sick and tired of video games and my friends got sick and tired of video games and the strange new hobby we transitioned to. And if you're interested in finding a new hobby, and if you want to find something interesting to do with your friends that's not video games because you're absolutely fed up with them, because Dungeons and Dragons is cheap and there's no paywall. What more could you ask for? So if you're interested in trying it out, there are some links down in the description where I'm pointing you to a starter set and some of the starter books that you're gonna need to actually get a grasp of this game, because I can officially say that playing Dungeons and Dragons is actually very beneficial to your health. It's very beneficial to have fun and be creative and build your social life through this very strange, nerdy, but yet strangely fun game. So with that being said, I need to go because my friends are coming over soon and we're getting ready to start our next session. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Tony Sticks, and may you guys... You want to see my Christmas gift? I got something cool for Christmas.